Good morning. I want to give a shout out to Boar's Head and everything that they do. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Boar's Head. 5th generation owned American company. I like that. 1905. So I hope that your amazing, amazing summer sandwiches with some wonderful tomatoes from your garden or a farmer's market. Wendy went to the farmer's market Saturday, I think. And some awesome Boar's Head cheese and either turkey, ham, roast beef, or any number of things that they do, which is delicious. Our refrigerator is always stocked full of Boar's Head. And then, you mix in some bacon. And God, what else do we want to pile up in there? Some fresh lettuce, Salade's, another Mississippi company. I mean, we can just keep going. We mentioned this National Onions Day. We've got some audio that we're going to drop from both LSU. And we're going to tip of the cap to Bill Raftery, CBS basketball. What a dude. And he's come up with, the onions call, which is great. I think it trumps anything that Vital did. And Bill's better, but Vital was good. But to me, Bill Raftery's the best. And I've enjoyed, watching him call games. And when I was CBS, Final Four last year, he was there. And where was I? New Orleans for the whole Duke, North Carolina, Villanova, Kansas Final Four, which was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One of the best nights of probably the best night of basketball I've ever had, just because of the teams and quality of play. But on National Onions Day, you have to give a shout out to Bill Raftery, and he's been awesome on CBS. Right now he's with you see him with Jim Nantz. Well, actually, he went to Starkville this year. He goes to Oxford, too, but I happened to walk in. Was it? Oh, it was the State-Ole Miss game. Yeah, Mississippi State would win it. Remember, it was the Brick City game? So I walked in a little late. I don't know why I got on the road late. Maybe I was doing something here. I walked in about 3 or 4 minutes late because I bumped into Zach Selman for the first time underneath the tunnel. I got my little media credential. I walked in. And Zach Selman was sitting there, and I was like, hey, Zach. He was like, how are you? We met, walked out on the floor, and neither team could throw it in the ocean. I mean, it was like 12-11 at half. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but good grief. And I keep forgetting that Humphrey Coliseum and the Pavilion sell beer, Jason. And so, I kind of took some time off from college basketball. Rick Ray kind of can do that to you. And Ole Miss kind of messed around. They were okay, but not, didn't really do anything at the end of the day. Had some fun moments. The Marshall Henderson thing was fun. And then, but didn't win a few games in the tournament. What else? AK would always win 22 plus, but a lot of times end up in, things shifted on Mississippi State and Ole Miss during that time. And so when Stansbury also knocked down 22-23, there were some times where you went to the NIT, which is unfortunate because they have to give all the conference champions automatic bids, right? So there's just only so many spots for the Ole Misses and Mississippi States. But I was watching the game, and they couldn't throw it in the ocean, and I was down on the floor, and it's like brick, 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 brick. They're like building Humphrey Coliseum again, even though they're doing a renovation that's going to be very nice to Humphrey Coliseum as we do this show and have been for a while now. And I walk up and I thought, so I said, I'm going to walk around because I got to walk around. If you're not playing well or very entertained, I saw Charlie Winfield. He was down there on the court. And I walked up and I got a beer. And all of a sudden, Jason, the game got better. Just sipped on a beer and walked around, and it was all good. Now, my point in all that is National Onions Day, Bill Raftery is an unbelievable color analyst for more than one platform, but CBS being one. And this is one of his onions call.
Wow! Pointer. Onions! Double order.
Double order of onions. I love that guy. And so Raftery's also known to Jason to be a guy who likes to go have a cold beer.
Ooh.
After they call a game. Well, I mean, he's called games all over the country, but most of the time he's in the Northeast. Okay, so he knows all the cool pubs and bars. I went to a super cool steakhouse pub bar outside of Madison Square Garden. I can't remember the name of it. I've got it in my phone. I'll get it in the break.
Wow.
And so when I went up there in 2018, I guess, to go to Mississippi State was in the, I guess, Final Four, if you want to say it, of the NIT. But I thought, Madison Square Garden's a bucket list. I want to see a game in there. Why not? And I went to this it had been around for like 70 years, steakhouse. Had the best time. Sat at the bar, didn't know anybody. I was traveling alone like I have majority of my last 20 years. And it's not Elmo's, but it's something like that. So somebody who's been to New York a bunch may know. And I mean, literally, it's a rock's throw from Madison Square Garden. I got lucky. I guess the concierge at the Marriott said, "I know what you want. Go over here. You'll have fun." Well, they have the whole place at this steakhouse, pub and grill restaurant is rocking at 5:00, evidently every afternoon.
Really?
Okay. I mean, it's loud New Yorkers having a good time, and it actually serves good food. And it's not a tourist trap. It's locals, right?
Okay.
I mean, you could tell it was people who worked and lived in New York.
Next to MSG, it's locals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
that's rare.
I'm not saying they weren't jumping on the subway system after that to go and lived out in, boroughs and away. But, it was people from New York.
Nice.
And I ate the steak I had was phenomenal. And then I may have had a bourbon, and then I headed over to Madison Square Garden. But that takes me to Raftery. He's called 9 million games there, and he's like what you think of. You know how you hear about New York high school playground basketball? When I think about that, I think of, the old Big East, where he's a part of that.
Yeah.
And I think about Bill Raftery. And so when we saw National Onions Day, onions are great. They're great to cook with. They're great to eat. They're great to cook down. They make your food better, right? But the fact that he's come up, let's play that one more time because it's really, really good. And he is the best college basketball color analyst, even better than Grant Hill and Jay Billis. Here we go.
Wow! Pointer. Onions! Double order.
Not just onions, double order.
The first one where he goes, onions, just quick. That's the first thing he could think of.
I love that guy. The SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. The official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show. We are brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. This is 105.9 The Zone ESPN. You can hit us up on our Ag Up Equipment text line, 601-885-3776. So that's 885-3776. Jason, we're going to give away, because it's National Sunglasses Day, and eye care professionals and Dr. Kirk Jeffries have been an awesome partner for 18 years on the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
18 years on the show. If you need cataract surgery, go to Eye Care Professionals, Dr. Kirk Jeffries. But they've been with us for 18 years, and that whole group loves sports. I see them, every now and then, but I went and ate lunch with them last year. That obviously the males in the group do, but the females in that clinic love sports. So we're going to give away a pair of unbelievable Ray-Bans. And all you have to do is show us that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, search Out of Bounds Sports, or our podcast, Apple Podcast or Spotify. Just click it, take a picture, hit us up on the text line 601-885-3776. You can DM it to us or on Twitter at BowBounds. Twitter at BowBounds. And we'll pick the best text today on any of the topics that we're going to hit, including the LSU Tigers winning the College World Series. So how do you enter? Show us that you've subscribed to our YouTube channel or our podcast, and that's how you enter, and you could win an unbelievable pair of Ray-Bans, compliments of Eye Care Professionals and Dr. Kirk Jeffries. LSU smokes Florida in the College World Series, Game 3. And now people are talking about how it's bought, not built. Do you, as a listener, do you believe that this LSU national championship was bought, not built because of what they did in the transfer portal? Now, again, they got a unicorn. You're not going to get a Paul Skeens, but once every 10 years, maybe. Not even sure about that, Jason, and here's why. Most of the time, a Skeens isn't going to go to Air Force. Mm-hmm. He's going to go to Florida, LSU, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and he's not going to leave, period. So he's not ever going to be in the portal. He's going to have a 2 or 3 year career at a big-time Texas, at a big-time program, and not leave, okay? However, Skeens went to the Air Force Academy, decided it was in his best interest to make a move. Jay Johnson, and along with the Bat Company and some other people, made the magic happen, put together a wonderful transfer portal class, but they also had some really good players on the roster. But Skeens is the guy that we've been talking about all year. He's big, he's their ace, and he kind of throws 99 to 100 miles per hour effortlessly.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, some guys look like they're trying to throw their arm out, and they do throw 96, 97, 98. Paul Skeens looks like he's tossing the ball out here in the Beagle Bagel parking lot, right? And so do you think it was bought, not built? I have some thoughts on that. And again, the text line is 601-885-3776. This has already ruffled the feathers of some LSU fans. Well, Bama has bought all their football championships, and LSU bought their football championships, and Georgia bought their football championships. So, I mean, I guess you can run the numbers however you want. When Duke has won it, North Carolina, Jason, in basketball, you think the Kansas Jayhawks aren't buying basketball players? I mean, Bill Self got it written in his contract because he's a basketball emperor. You cannot fire me regardless if you have me on tape dropping off a bag of cash to a third-party flesh peddler or a mom, dad, or just the prospect themselves. And Kansas went, yes, sir, and did the deal. So he's guaranteed every bit of his whatever he signed. $77 million contract. Bill Self is the head basketball coach at Kansas, Jason. I know you're not a hooper, but although you look like one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really? You mean that?
Well, you look like you could be a point guard for a 1A school.
Okay, or maybe like a strong wing, like you.
No,
like a 12 point a game sort of guy.
I don't think that much. I was thinking more 4.4 points a game,
Okay,
and maybe like 6 assists.
2 steals. Got to give me a couple steals.
Yeah, you could get low to the floor.
Yes. Most
Okay.
definitely.
Right. So by the time you're in a defensive stance, if you're in the correct defensive stance, then like a Chris Jans defensive stance,
Yeah.
then at that point you're not. I mean, you're about 3 feet off the floor, so you're down there where you can get the basketball.
Of course.
Okay, so we'll give you 4.5 points a game, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Let me think of a 1A. Is Mize a 1A school?
I think Tri-County is a 1A school. Tri-County, that's, I think, past Flora.
I know exactly where. It's right in Flora.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove by there Saturday. I went up to the grocery store on 49. I don't have to see anybody there. It's Sullivan's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
And then
place.
I wrapped back through to Flora Butcher, but on the way back, I drove right by Tri-County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could, hey, that's pretty surprising that you would give me 4, 6, and 2.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I'll take that.
Total overachiever.
Exactly.
First one in the gym, last one to leave.
Sweatband,
So yeah, absolutely.
thick sweatband,
Really socks that are not knee high but close.
real close.
Yeah.
Almost stockings.
Yeah.
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 No,
So
that's me for sure.
short shorts.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here. The Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. Is LSU's College World Series championship bought, not built? Also, we had another recruiting get, I guess. Isn't that wild? We mentioned Tyler Carter yesterday to Steve Robertson, Jason.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't thinking about it. I just saw not committed from Vicksburg, edge rusher, and he committed to Zach Arnett, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I expect Ole Miss to get very revved up during the dead period. If there's any school that doesn't put up with this when Mississippi State football gets some recruiting momentum, it's Ole Miss. So somebody's either got to get stolen or committed here sooner than later. So I think it's DEFCON 1 in Oxford, and I expect some movement sooner than later with the run of 5 commitments since last week, all with Mississippi ties. Now, you know, Jimothy Lewis is at IMG, but he was at MRA, and you know, we'll see how that all plays out. But that's 5 in a row. It's not going to sit well with the Hottie Toddy group. So you're going to have to get your guys together and you know, get rolling.
I'm just hoping, because if Ole Miss responds, please, not another quarterback. Please,
Oh,
not
come on.
another quarterback.
I mean, why not?
we've got
Why not
six-
have $2.5 to $3 million in that room?
We've got 6.5 million quarterbacks. Can we get a defense? Can we get, you know, some more O linemen? I like the guy out of Tennessee. That was a great commitment, the 3-star. I mean, more of those guys, or a wide receiver. Let's get us another wide receiver. Aiden Williams is great. Let's get close to a number 1 guy, a guy that can come out and, you know, really make a difference. But another quarterback, please no. Like, we have enough, I promise.
Well, let's find another guy that can reclassify 2 classes.
Yeah, for real.
I roll. Out of Bounds, ESPN 1059 The Zone. Driven by your next Nissan Pathfinder. The all-new body style is super cool. Test drive one today. It's an awesome SUV. Obviously, we have a bunch of Nissan employees in this area, having the manufacturing facility since 2000. Well, it was a little bit of, what was that? A little bit of Musgrove and Patera and some others. But the Out of Bounds Show is driven by the Nissan Pathfinder at Cannon Nissan in Jackson. Show is also presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, the official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. We've got some LSU audio. LSU with another national title. Is this the first one since 2009? Is that correct? Since Maneri knocked one down? And then prior to that was 9 years before was Burtman's last one. We went through Burtman, Smoke. Smoke didn't last long, did he? What was he like? Wasn't it Smoke that got promoted after Skip? Maybe 2 years? Just that's big shoes to fill. You know? Well, that's an understatement. He won 5 national titles at LSU. Hello.
Yeah.
Right? Greatest college baseball coach of all time. And then I think it was Smoke, and then Maneri. Maneri wanted to go to Mississippi State in 2001, but they hired Ron Polt back. Anyway, Maneri had a good run, really good run. And then Jay Johnson comes in, you know, let's drop the audio. This is LSU celebrating.
LSU is going to have more ships than the U.S. Navy.
So they just won the women's basketball title with Kim Mulkey. And she's something else. Remember when her son played shortstop for LSU? You probably don't remember that. You don't?
No, I was too busy basketball. I was too
You
busy.
were too busy hooping.
Exactly.
Okay.
You get it.
Yeah. Somebody on a Tuesday night in rural Mississippi's got to drop 6 assists and 2 steals and defend every single possession.
And it's not
like
gonna be
it's
you.
your last.
Yeah, come on. Somebody has to.
Well, you got to eat off the floor, like Kirby, talks about, right?
You definitely. I mean, if there's anybody that's going to eat off the floor, it's going to be the 1A guy getting 4 points, 6 assists.
Yeah.
We have a saying around our place: we eat off the floor. And if you're willing to eat off the floor, you can be special.
Well, you were special. Well, I want to know if there's anybody listening that has like a favorite 1A MHSAA team. Favorite 1A MHSAA team. Because we're kind of, making this profile of Jason. How tall are you?
5'8".
Perfect. Point guard, 1A, somewhere in rural Mississippi, averaging about 4.5 points a game, 6 assists, and 2 steals. And defends every possession like it's his last. Coach's pet. He does first one in, first one out. Doesn't care about scoring. Dishes it out as far as distributing the basketball. And believes that help side defense, the only thing more important is the Bible in his bedside drawer. I mean, that's what that coach wants in Mize, Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Or Wheeler.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of like some pockets that love basketball. That Tupelo area has got, what is it? Biggersville? Maybe I'm in the wrong section. But Wheeler, when I was growing up, I used to check the box scores every morning in the 80s. I know that's foreign to you because you had an iPhone. Yeah. But for me, when I got up in 1981, 82, 83, at 8, 9, 10 years old, I devoured the sports section in every single box score, including NBA.
Wow.
Alex English.
Okay.
Adrian Dantley. I mean, I can go on and on, all right? And then also every single high school around the state. I don't know who put that together till the wee hours of the morning, but Wheeler was a basketball school back then. And that there's a pocket up there in that Tupelo, outside of Tupelo area, and they live and breathe hoop, kind of like down 49 South,
right,
where they live and breathe football.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of pulpwood truck haulers that will absolutely tattoo you on Friday night and hit you every single snap. They're looking to head on a swivel, decleat you, right?
Oh, I know.
From Lumberton over to Jefferson Davis, over to McGee, where Jake Mangum's dad played, John Mangum. I mean, those dudes, I don't know what year John graduated, let's say 85, and then went to Alabama. I mean, talking about some absolute wars on Friday night. So, did you decleat anybody when you got moved up to linebacker your senior year from DB?
I did, but I also still took my licks. I still took, people from Lake, Mississippi.
Lake,
or
that's tough, people.
Puckett.
Puckett.
Yeah.
You just nailed one.
They will.
I don't know what classification they are, but if you're starting at linebacker at Puckett, you're decleating people.
Yeah.
Ain't no doubt.
You're a problem.
The Out of Bounds Show is powered by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, the official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show. Good morning. Welcome in. Mike Detillier at 8:30, baby, on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line.